Good morning, everybody. It is week 2 of term 4. I hope you all had a good weekend and you are doing well. And you're probably wondering why I have a picture of this nice little river here and these flowers. Well, what season are we in? It's spring, right? And we are going to be talking about latitude, longitude, and seasons again, but this time from an astronomy point of view instead of from climate and meteorology point of view. Um, Is it going to be a little bit of review? Yeah. So if you guys remember that unit from back in September and October, remember I got you out of your seats and you walked around the classroom and we had a little light up and had a little planet, a little globe, and I showed you how since it was tilted, it would change the season. Well, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that. If you don't remember doing that, or if you don't remember what latitude and longitude are, don't fret. This is going to be covered again in the my MCPS classroom, and we'll be talking you through it. So again, it's a review. It's a way to build up that knowledge base you need for when you get to high school and these ideas start helping you. It's basically to show you that even though we're talking about different fields, in this case we're talking about meteorology, climatology, and astronomy, we use all of them together to help form one cohesive picture of the Earth. And when you get to college, high school and college, if you go to college or if you move on to the military or just go into the working world afterwards, you're going to have to do that with almost any topic. You might be taught, like in my case, back when I worked at Wise, the grocery store, I might have been trained on register, but the register rules didn't always line up with the customer service rules, and I had to be able to take both of them together and put them together to figure out how to do my job properly. That's the same idea here, because when you get to high school, you'll be learning about chemistry and biology and physics, and you might forget that they are not separate. They're all talking about one thing. They're all talking about the Earth. They're just describing it in different ways, how we perceive things. So that's what we're doing for this week. So let's take a look at our schedule so we can go over that really quickly. Nothing's changed too much from last week. I just made it colorful this time. I used cardinal and gold because those were my old college colors of Iowa State. But it's just to bring your attention to more important details I was getting questions about last week. First of all, the deadline for all assignments are Sundays at midnight. So anything from week 1 at this point, I will no longer accept. With exception, if you send me an email and be like, Mr. Brando, and you have a really good reason for why you couldn't turn anything in by the deadline, which was Sunday at midnight, I might be able to give you an extra couple days to send me an email. Okay, today is Monday, and I would expect an email either today or tomorrow telling me that you need a little extra time. All right. If I don't hear from you by tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm sorry. That's you've already been past the deadline. I won't extend it any further. Okay, so you need to let me know tomorrow or Tuesday. Okay. Um, a little bit about this. So we're going to have a warm up, we're going to have a practice, we're going to have a check for understanding, and we're going to have a formal assignment, just like last week. The module from last week is the same idea we're doing this time with a few things. So I had a couple of Zoom meetings last week, and one of the things that we asked was if you were feeling overwhelmed, and overwhelmingly, okay, I was yes, you guys were. Side note, ever notice you can't say the word whelmed? You can say either under or over. Anyway, so so you guys were overwhelmed, and even though I dislike doing this, I understand. I don't want to put too much pressure on you guys, and I loved the discussion questions we had last week. I loved reading what you guys wrote. It was really, really interesting. I think it made it feel like we're in a class again, but I can see how it could also be very stressful and how it is kind of time consuming. So I'm no longer going to grade the warm up. Okay, I really want you to do it. If you have the time and you have the wherewithal to get through that, please do the warm up and discussion. Find someone else to be like, hey, I agree or I disagree, and this is why. It just makes us feel like we're in class again, and it helps you guys express your ideas in a better way. And I would like you to have that done by Wednesday, so that way when we're in our Zoom meetings, we can talk to you about them. Um, but if you goes past Wednesday and you still want to do it anyway, that's fine. Again, it's not graded, so go ahead and add your voice into our discussion. Now, practice and application. This is going to be like that note sheet we had last week. It's done a little differently this time. It's going to be almost like a little quiz with drop-down menus, because that way it's easier for me to grade. It's easier for you to find the answers, and it makes things a little bit more streamlined. I'll show you how that works in a moment. That is graded. It's going to be a homework grade. The check for understanding the practice quiz is optional and ungraded, with a caveat, because the fourth thing is our formal assessment, which is our test. This check for understanding prepares you for this test. That's final, right? And you have two chances on each of these. So you have a total of 4, so 2 here and 2 here. If you take this test and you decide, I don't need to do this, I know what I'm doing, you're confident, that's fine. And if you score well, awesome. If you don't score well, right, and you've only done this once, you have one more chance left. If you don't go back and do your practice quizzes, right, and you come, but then take this again and still fail, and you email me, like, Mr. Brando, I don't know what happened, blah blah blah. I'm gonna say, well, you didn't try your best. Okay, you should have gone back and taken this and see what your mistakes were, and then took the second or your last chance on this test. Okay. If you don't take it at all, or you take both of them afterwards, that doesn't really help you. So I would suggest at least taking one of them before taking your test, so that way you have the background knowledge you need. But again, that is up to you. You guys are almost high schoolers now. You should be able to make your own decisions, make your own choices, and live with the consequences of those choices. Okay. Now, module 2 is, so on Tuesday it's gonna be another work day. I will have a small office hours up. I will post those with the hours up on Google Classroom. You can do discussion. It's gonna be typing style. Okay. Wednesday and Thursday is when we're doing our Zoom classes. Again, they are optional. They are not required, but they do really help answer questions. I like seeing you guys again. Gives us a chance to talk. We can answer questions. We go over a little bit more in depth. Some of the topics are not covered too well in the module. And yeah, it's actually a pretty fun time. So I really encourage you to come on your period. So period 5 and 7, you are on Wednesday, and there's your times there. And then down here on Thursday, 1, 2, and 3, I will see you guys on Thursday. And I will put the link and password. I know it says by noon. I need to fix that, because what I meant to say is basically 30 minutes before the first Zoom meeting, I try to get them out to everybody. Okay. If you don't see it up, just wait, and it will be up there soon enough. If it's about 30 minutes before and it's still not posted, that's when you can send me a message, big Mr. Brando, you forgot to post it. I'm like, gotcha, and I'll put it up there for you. Okay, so that's when our Zooms are being done. And then finally, Friday is a work day for you guys. Again, I'm around the computer. I'm not going to be leaving the house anytime soon. So if you have any questions, go ahead and email me. I will always answer them on Friday, and that's fine. Just remember that Friday at midnight is your due date, and then deadline is Sunday at midnight. Okay. And the final test here does have an access code. Instead of making you wait till Wednesday, I can see how that could put some pressure on people, and some of you guys want to finish early. So the password is spring with a capital S, no spaces, because we are in the season of spring. I would suggest, though, not doing it on the very first day, because if you do it all at once, the information doesn't stay. If you can, please try to spread it out. Okay, like do all your work on like Monday, and maybe take your test like on Wednesday, so that way you have a little bit more chance of like soaking in that information. But again, that is up to you. I'm giving you the password, and I'm going to let you be responsible of how you take your test and how you do your work. All right. So for those of you where this is good enough and you're comfortable with my MC Plus Classroom, I'll say adieu or goodbye to you. But for those of you who need a little bit more direction or want to see how to use my MC Plus Classroom, you can follow me on to the next portion of this video. So here we go. So your screen will look like this when you log in. Okay. And I'm going to reset this because I want you guys to see what it will look like if you haven't done much. Okay, so this is a fresh slate. Okay, over here it says week 1 on all these things. Go ahead and remove those, because at this point it's past the deadline, and I will no longer accept it unless you give me an email and a really good reason why. So here we go. So there's your week 2. And again, if you have any questions when things are due, hit the calendar. And only 2 of these are being graded, remember. So that's going to be the unequal heating formal assessment and this one down here, unequal heating. Okay, those are the notes. So we're gonna go over here, click on modules. Let's go like this. Okay, if you want to make this a little bit easier for you, go ahead and click these and hide them because we're no longer in week 1. And you don't really need the home page. So here is week 2. You're gonna click on the objectives. And here we go. So if you look, our objectives are latitude and longitude and the connection between latitude and the average yearly temperature. So if you think back to September, October, I think a little bit in November as well, you guys had a common writing task. Remember I gave you that map and I told you to pick 2 cities and explain to me like what you expect their climate to be like? This is the same idea, okay? It's the same concepts, but now we're more focused on the space portion of it and like the planet being warmed by the sun's rays than we are about how it affects humans and life forms on the on the continents. Okay, but they're interconnected. It's the same idea, right? So here we go. Here's what we're going to be doing. Here is our objective, which is by the end of this week, students will be able to compare and contrast the latitudes of different locations around the world and explain the effect those latitudes have on the unequal heating of the planet. Basically, in layman's terms, we're asking why is Cairo in Egypt usually very hot and dry, and why is Anchorage, Alaska always cold? Okay, how do you think those latitudes affect how our climates are being expressed, and how do you think the sun and the moon and the Earth's tilt might affect that? Okay, so that's basically what your objective is asking you there. Now, you can hit next down here, or you can hit the discussions tab, either way. And it's going to ask you this discussion question. Remember, I'm not grading it this week, but I'd still like you to do it. And the question is, why is the temperature different in different places in the United States? So you could be like, uh, Brownsville, Texas is 67 degrees. And then, what are those lines again that go like this? Go from left to right across the globe. I wonder if you can remember what that is, go ahead and write it down in the comments below. But as we go up, right, Pierre, South Dakota only has 38 degrees. So as we go, it's either increasing or decreasing of something, those lines, where our temperature changes. I wonder why. Well, you put that down as a reply. Okay. And then if you would be so kind, you would go find somebody else who else responded and be like, I agree with what you say, or I disagree, and be polite about it. Okay. All right. So that's our optional warm up. Now here is week 2. Here is all the information I want you to learn. This is the best thing you need to do. There are 2 reading sections, 2 videos, and 2 little interactives to help you understand how latitude and longitude works. And then down here, there's 3 more videos. They're not required, but they're fun and they're more helpful. So if you're getting a little stuck or you want to learn more about these things, down here is a great resource for that. Go hit next. Okay. So this is our notes. This is unequal heating notes. This is the first one that is graded. Okay, this is a homework grade. Please do it. So you're gonna hit take the quiz. It's not really a quiz. Okay. It's set up like a quiz, but it's not really a quiz. So as you see down here, it's a Dropbox. Okay. So you're gonna fill in these notes and all these questions here. And each one has a little video you can watch that'll help you. I think this is the same video as the first one, but click on it, watch it. It'll help you answer all of these questions. So there should be a spacer here. This little thing to read. Okay. I'll go over here. Here's some more video, something to look at. Remember this one from our common writing task. Okay. And it's going to ask you to select what you think is correct. And once you're done, all the way through all this, we're reading here. There's a question down here. You go ahead and submit it. Okay. And then I'm going to submit. Okay. It's going to yell at me because I didn't actually select anything. Okay. And then we're going to go on to our next thing, which is this. This is our unequal heating CFU. This one is not graded. It is just for you to practice. Okay. So you're going to go through all this, submit quiz. Okay. Then you hit next. And then this is our last one. It's worth 12 points. This one is graded. and you may use your notes on it. The access code is spring. Capital S. I'll take you right into it, okay? Once you finish that, hit next. And this is our wrap-up section, okay? And once you read over this real quickly, you're done for the week. Okay. There's one more thing you could do if you really like to. This is a feedback survey. This isn't graded. This is just to tell me how I'm doing on fixing all of this my MCPS classroom stuff. All right. So once you finished all that, you are done for the week, and I hope me going over this made things a little bit more clear for you. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me, and I hope you guys are doing well, and I look forward to seeing you in the Zoom meetings this week. Alrighty. Bye-bye.